Just coming live to reassure you guys that things are going to be fine tomorrow. Don't take too much pressure on yourself. The most important thing to remember is that you need to make sure that the trained version of you appears in the exam tomorrow. It should not be the untrained version of you. Oops. It should not be the untrained version of you who's appearing for the exam tomorrow. It should be the trained version of you which appears for the exam tomorrow. It's very important to ensure that because of the fact that a lot of people when they're giving the exam, they're not able to bring out their best. Or their best on the day of the exam. It's like when you play a match. If you've played any sport, when you play a match versus when you play practice, during practice your performance is very different from match because of the fact that you attach a lot of importance to the result. So one of the things that you have to remember is that whether the result is good or bad, the fact is that I'll just come to your anxiety issues. The fact is that whatever happens in your exam, whether it's a good outcome, bad outcome, you'll be able to deal with it, and you'll always find a way out of it. And please remember, tomorrow does not affect your dreams in life. Who you want to be at 45, 20 years from now, who you will become, is not only dependent on your performance tomorrow. There are so many other options, or there are so many other performance days that will come in front of you in the future. So, being a little bit anxious is fine, but the anxiety has to disappear first couple of minutes in the exam, you can be anxious, but after that, the anxiety has to actually disappear because अगर तुम्हारा एंजाइटी कंटिन्यू कर जाता है एग्ज़ाम के ड्यूरेशन में, तब इश्यू होगा, because then what will happen is you will not bring out the best version of yourself, right? So don't worry about this thing. Rishi and others, focus on what you have practiced. Allow your trained version to come out. That's the most important part of tomorrow. And the more anxious you remain, and anxiety before the exam is fine, but as you get into the heat of the battle, the anxiety has to go away. The anxiety has to go away. You have to start reacting with your awareness, with your knowledge, with your skills that you have built yourself for, right? And all the best to all of you for tomorrow. Individual sectional strategies. I don't think you should change anything. You must have tried it in your mocks, etc. But last minute tips क्या दे सकता हूँ मैं? Okay, verbal में focus on. You already know your accuracy rates at different timelines. So what you can do if you're not good. Somebody was asking me, one of my students was asking me that was pretty good at quants and DILR but not so good at verbal. So I was trying to tell him that पहले तुम verbal में don't aim too high. Focus on getting 7-8 questions correct. तो 2 RC पकड़ लो, 4 RC पैसेज जो हैं जिसमें 2 तुमको समझ में आ रहे हैं ज़्यादा, वो 2 RC पकड़ लो, उस 2 RC को completely solve करो. Take 25 minutes, 27 minutes. थोड़ा it's okay to be a little bit conservative during your solving, and make sure that you get those 8 questions correctly, or at least 6-7 questions correct there. So if you're hitting 20 marks in, let's say, 25 minutes with around 5-6 questions correct in 2 RCs, so uske baad then you can play for 30, 35, 40, etc. Right? And so that's as far as the verbal section goes. In DILR, a couple of things. Last minute tips क्या दे सकता हूँ मैं? देखो, don't get stuck. मतलब the biggest disservice you can do to yourself is कि 15-17 मिनट एक सेट में डाल दिए और उसके बाद वो सेट नहीं हुआ, तो वो सिचुएशन अवॉइड करना है. तो क्या करो कि मतलब just make sure that the writing work you do. So what happens is when you pick a DILR set, first 4-5 minutes you do some writing work. So make sure that writing work is very, very organized, because sometimes what might happen is, होता क्या है कि अगर तुम if you're giving only one go to a DILR set, So what happens is that at the end of 5-7 minutes, it becomes a little bit difficult to leave the set. Set छोड़ने में बहुत there's a sense of loss कि I can't leave the set because I've invested so much time. On the other hand, if you do good quality writing, if you do neat writing of whatever clues etc, whatever table you're making, उसको जितना neat बना सकते हो, अगर उसको neat बना लेते हो, तो क्या होता है कि 5 to 7 minutes के अंदर अगर तुमको सेट दिख रहा है कि it's getting too complicated and you are losing control. I mean, bottom line is, I mean, you have to feel that कि कितना कंट्रोल तुम कर रहे हो सेट को. तो you might drop a set in between, go to something else, do that and come back to that set. So you can only come back to a set if the quality of writing that you've done is very neat, right? I don't realize, I don't get what you're saying, Shyam, because I mean, if you compare I mean, I'm quite sure everybody who's given the CAD experience mocks, you will realize that the quality of the explanations at Mindworkzz, at the CAD experience that we have done is much more superior than what everybody else has. So I would not agree with your point of view. But anyway, that's your this thing. You have this thing to your opinion. Let's come back to what we are talking about. And so hopefully some of the people who actually appreciated what we did with the mocks can answer these two gents here, right? So it's the best test series in the market, definitely. I mean, I think 95-97% people are giving us that feedback. And I am quite sure after tomorrow's CAT, people will further appreciate what we did in the test series. And the key, I mean, the only difference I can give for that is that the only difference I can give for that is that that 8,000 people would not have taken the test series if it was so poor. Anyway. Right. So anyway, thanks everybody. And anyway, so coming back to tomorrow, let's focus on that. Let's not get distracted by these trolls. I think a lot of other institutes also pay people to come and speak on my channel about whatever they want to do. So I mean, अगर कोई बोल रहा है कि paid है तो ultimately I think the bottom line is that शायद वही लोग paid है to talk about this. Right. So anyway, coming back to I mean, yeah, we try to make sure that there's no ambiguity, and I'm quite sure tomorrow you'll find in the CAT a lot of similarity or very strong feel of similar tests to the CAT experience tests. Anyway, thank you so much everybody for this. So coming back to DILR, I think most important चीज़ ये है ना कि मतलब देखो होता क्या है कि अगर तुम if you have a one visit to a set only, let's focus on this, right? Yeah, let him get lost. That's the best thing to think of. So anyway, so and ऐसे भी frustrated people की कमी नहीं है दुनिया में. तो anyway, क्या मैं बोल रहा था? हाँ, तो important tip for tomorrow. DILR में क्या करना है? So suppose you're getting to the first set, 5 minute. I mean, always keep a track of how much control you have over the set. Because cons में क्या होता है कि cons में चलो ठीक है एक क्वेश्चन में फंस भी गए तो 3-4 मिनट निकलता है, you still have time to come back. And if you're not able to do it, DILR में क्या होता है एक सेट में फंस गए, I've seen people getting stuck for 15 minutes, 17 minutes, तो उसके बाद पूरा सेक्शन खत्म हो जाता है because the pressure on the second set becomes too high. So what you need to do is keep track of the control. Keep track of the control of the set that you have. And if you are losing control, I mean, see, you can't मतलब सेट इस तरह से नहीं पकड़ सकते हो कि ये सेट आराम दिख रहा है, अच्छा दिख रहा है, वो ख़राब दिख रहा है तो इसको ले लेते हैं, उसको छोड़ देते हैं, राइट? तो कमिंग बैक, तो 4-5 मिनट पॉइंट पे जस्ट मेजर द डिग्री ऑफ कंट्रोल यू हैव ऑन द सेट. अगर डिग्री ऑफ कंट्रोल थोड़ा कम है तुम्हारा, बिलो पार है, अगर तुमको लगता है कि एंड बॉटम लाइन क्या है DILR सेट में, अगर अनलेस यू यूज ऑल द क्लूज तब तक क्वेश्चन सॉल्व नहीं होगा. तो अगर बीच में तुमको लग रहा है कि आई एम नॉट इन कंट्रोल ऑफ कपल ऑफ द क्लूज, इसको क्या करना है, या फिर there's a puzzle getting formed in the data which I'm not able to resolve, when you're losing control, what you do is you quit the set at the 5 minute point, keep the option of coming back to the set later, right? Because हो सकता है अगले सेट में भी सेम चीज़ हो, तो 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 कमिंग बैक, छोड़ दो अमृता को, लेट हर गेट अ लाइफ, राइट? सो लेट हर गेट अ लाइफ. मे बी सम पीपल हैव पुअर अपब्रिंगिंग, क्या बोलोगे? What that's all I can say, right? So anyway, coming back to this is one of the keys in DLR to select sets, because what happens is अगर तुम एक ही सेट में एक ही बार घुसने वाले हो तो there's a lot of sense of loss of leaving it. तो नहीं छोड़ने के चक्कर में तुम उस सेट को और लंबा खींचते जाते हो, and that's where the problem happens. So if your quality of writing is good and you make clean pictures, so what happens, you can pick up the solution at later. I mean, you do the second set, you do the third set, and then you have, let's say you got only 7-8 minutes left after finishing 2 sets. So you can actually, rather than going into the fourth set, you can come back to the first set and resolve it. Right? Yeah, I'm going for the cat because I have to look at the paper, but I might not. I mean, I'm not solving it to the effect that I'm trying to score high, because I really don't want to affect people's percentiles. I'll score a 99, 99.5, maybe 99.7, 99.8 तक, but उसके ऊपर नहीं जाऊँगा मैं, right? So coming back, so that's what I wanted to talk about DLR में. Apart from that, that's the only suggestion from me. 8:30 a.m. Have 8:30 a.m. folks, just make sure that you're fresh tomorrow morning. अभी जाके सो जाओ, right? 66, 70 in CAD experience should get you around 98 percentile if you score the same, right? DILR set में, I mean, when you read the set, when you read the data, DI अगर है तो focus on, are you understanding the variables of, if you look at CAD 23 का slot 3 का, that set on air conditioners, window AC, inverter base, non-inverter base, split AC, inverter base, non-inverter base. So if it's a DI set, it's a database set, to focus on identifying how many variables there are in the question, कितने numbers से deal कर रहे हो. So if you remember what the set I'm talking about, तो set में what was it? Four dealers, D1, D2, D3, D4, and each dealer का 4 number था. Window set, window inverter, window non-inverter, split inverter, split non-inverter. तो 4 into 4, 16 numbers का game था वो. So you have to understand how many numbers you're dealing with. And unless you get that structure, you will always struggle, because you will not know where to put the clues, etc. So, so that's one thing. I mean, if we set all the it's slightly late. Maybe you can prepare properly and get to that point, right? Or then for quants, the third section, the basic challenge that I can tell you in quants, one of the things is to make sure that you see the majority of the paper. So what you do is you start with a target. Let's say you are starting at the 99 percentile target. If you're starting at the 99 percentile target, you're starting with a target of around 12 questions. अगर last year की तरह बहुत मुश्किल एग्जाम है तो फिर 9 questions पे आना पड़ेगा, right? So what you do is, suppose you're starting the paper with a 12 question target. Yeah, I will do 12 questions. So if you want to do 12 questions, every 6 questions में, I mean, you divide the paper into 4 parts, 6, 5, 6, 5. And every part में you are supposed to do 3 questions. That's it. 3 is the par. Above 3 is above par. Below 3, if you can do only 2, then you are below par. So what you do is, when you look at 4 parts of the paper, you take the first 10 minutes on the first part, and you say, okay, these 6 questions, which are the 3 I'll do, and try to make sure that you have the resource of 10 minutes and try to get 3 done. So you might decide that your first question is question 5, not question 1 necessarily. So वो decision लेने के बाद, you just focus on making sure that you don't exceed the 10-minute time slot for the 6 questions. So what will happen then is that whatever easy questions there are, whatever questions are doable by you, you'll see those questions. Yeah, my slot is the third one, right? Uh, I think it would be similar to last year, मतलब more or less मुझे लगता है because cat normally does not go down और मतलब quants IIM Calcutta में expected नहीं है कि नीचे जाएगा quality wise from last year, so you can expect a paper similar and uh, verbal RC is very similar to what last year what the case was last year और DILR भी normal verbal RC और DILR तो almost stabilize कर गया last few years में. It was the quants that went really difficult last time. Difficult was mostly because of the fact that there were a lot of triggers which are not, I mean, it's not lengthy questions, but triggers that are not so obvious to start with. Right? Read with clarity. Maybe I'll do some YouTube videos later on this. Uh, uh, 45 to 56 in CAT experience, you can expect a similar score. मतलब मेरा CAT experience test का typical thought है कि CAT का ही feel आएगा more or less. So you will get a similar score. If you can score cross 50 तो 93-94 percentile आना चाहिए. I don't think 23 से ज़्यादा difficult quants आएगा इसी उतना ही रहेगा. Score negative, right? For BRC, I think 12-13 questions should get you a 99 percentile if you get 36-39 questions. Most important part, cooling down the nerves के लिए सबसे important part होता है कि you remove the expectations of the outcomes. Because अगर exam के अंदर तुम outcome dependent रह जाते हो तो और you're too focused on the outcomes and you're trying to these new gadgets is very difficult for me to control. This selfie stick is twisting and turning on its own. Anyway, so coming back, yeah, VRC happens to be my strongest section these days. I was just solving last year's CAT paper on VRC this afternoon, and I think I scored slot 1 I scored 58 marks, slot 2 I scored 54, slot 3 I scored 52. So almost 50 plus scores आ रहा था मेरा VRC में on all the slots of last year. And mostly my target is, I mean, I was timing myself also, although tomorrow I'm not giving the paper with that perspective. But I'm sure a lot of you are going to ask me how the paper was and all. तो अगर मैंने पेपर देखा नहीं हो तो I can't comment about it because I tried doing that in CAT 22. I didn't go for the exam. तो उसके बाद जो मेरा discussion tha on CAT 22, I was trying to take, we will be live by the way tomorrow at around 8 o'clock. So you guys can join us. I'll try to get Patrick sir also on the channel tomorrow. And some of my students will be there with me who are taking the exam this year. So we'll be discussing and we'll try to get some more mentors live. So anyway, coming back, para for RC, are you comfortable with the text of the para or not? That's the first this thing. If you're comfortable with the text, typically you should be able to do it. So anyway, so that's thank you so much, Abhay. Thank you. Although some people will disagree with me being a blessing to them, but anyway, that's different. This thing. What to do? Feel more confident. I mean, that's the simple single trick. You reduce your expectations of the outcomes. If you're too outcome dependent, see, if let's say I'll give you a small example. Let's say I ask you to walk. I give you a path which is 2 feet wide. It's 2 feet wide, and I make a 1 kilometer path or a 500-meter path from this point to 500 meters, and it's a straight path. And I ask you to walk, and the condition of the walk is that you don't get out. You should not step outside the path. Is it a difficult task? The answer is no. It's not difficult, right? 2 feet path, 500 meters. Walk on that path without stepping outside. It's easy, right? Not very difficult to do. Now imagine this path of 2 feet is made in the air between two buildings which are 100 stories high. So there's one building here and there's a building which is 500 meters away, and both these buildings are 100 stories high. And at the 100-story height, on the roof, I make a 2 feet path with no railings and nothing on side, and ask you to walk from one building to the other and the terrace of one building to the other. And I tell you that this is the task, please do it. So the same task which you think is very easy will become very, very difficult and become very, very this thing, because the cost of a mistake is very high. And what is happening is you're attaching an outcome or a negative outcome to making this thing. The task is the same. You're walking 500 meters on a 2 feet path. The task is exactly the same. Yeah, I do mapping. I do mapping. My para mappings. I mean, as I said, I was when I was solving these RC passage, these CAT 22 or 23 ke papers today. My fastest passage was done in around 5 minutes, 4.5 5 minutes, and normal was around 7 minutes. 22 23 minutes में मेरे चारों passage complete हो रहे थे. So anyway, that's this thing. Somewhere in Noida, I don't know, sector 62. Okay, so please remember this example that I was giving, walking at 500 meters or 100 stories in the air, or walking the same distance on the same path on the ground. The difference is in the negative outcome associated with making a mistake. And that's when the pressure gets to you, and that's when pressure starts hitting you. So simple logic of removing pressure, the feel of pressure, is to stop thinking about the outcomes. If you start thinking too much of the outcomes, if you start thinking too much in the future about the outcomes, you're going to lose the ability to perform in the present, right? So that's what I would. Yeah, everything will be good. सब कुछ अच्छा होगा, and I'll be regularly there with you guys through your interview preps also, and I'm quite sure you'll do well. And please remember, देखो एक और फैक्टर है, मतलब ठीक है, मतलब कैट अच्छा नहीं भी होता है, अच्छा होता है, that's not in your control any longer. What you control is your performance, and making sure that you're present in every question and fighting every question. If you fight for 2 hours in the exam, you will get good outcomes. Pakka. That much is this thing. You'll get outcomes based on your ability, or you get outcomes. What you don't want is underperformance. कि mocks में 70 आता था और CAT में 40 लेके आए. Mocks में 70 आता था, CAT में 100 नहीं आने वाला है. So please remember, your target tomorrow is to make sure that whatever your best mock performance has been happening, वो लेके आओ. And please remember the other side. The other side is that whichever B school you get to, let's say you get to an 80 percentile B school, not a 99.5 percentile B school. You get to a 80 percentile B school. If you go to the B school and you perform in the academics there and do well in the academics, the placement and the career path that you will get from there will be similar to a B school which is 95 percentile. So 10 percentile, 15 percentile का तुम effect, मतलब similarly a 93 percentile B school, you go to the kind of B school you'll get a 93 percentile, versus your friend goes to a 99 percentile B school. He performs average there. You perform great at the 93 percentile B school. Your job will be better and more likely better outcome in terms of the profile of the job, the impact you will create, maybe even the salary, even though you do not perform in the CAT. तो 5-7 percentile का जो gap है, वो तो तुम अपने B school performance से match कर सकते हो. IIM अहमदाबाद में तुम 200th rank हो versus TAPI में तुम topper हो. तुम्हारा career path similar रहने वाला है. Please remember that. Your first job, and that's the main thing that matters. और first job के बाद आगे का कोई मतलब आगे का कोई nobody is going to look at your background at all. तुम अहमदाबाद के हो इसलिए तुमको कोई जॉब नहीं देने वाले, या कोई तुमको ग्रोथ नहीं देने वाला है, या nobody is going to give you a higher salary or a higher promotion for that, right? So once you are into the job, once you're in the corporate sector, it's your personal brand that matters more than your institute brand, right? So always remember that. ठीक है? My slot is the third one tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do the VRC solving on YT, please. No issues. right? We will be, I mean, for CAT 25, we are bringing a VRC course from Meenakshi ma'am and me together. So those of you going for CAT 25 can actually look at that CAT, at that. So announce hoga maybe in a month's time. उसमें I'm planning to actually teach VRC quite extensively next year. राइट चलो चलो ठीक है सो ऑल द बेस्ट टू एवरीबडी हैव अ गुड नाइट स्लीप जाओ इंडिया इज डूइंग वेल इन द क्रिकेट सो वॉट एवर हैपन्स व्हेन यू कम बैक फ्रॉम द एग्जाम वी शुड बी close to winning the match anyway, so some good news anyway, right? Yeah, we please talk to the team, they'll help you with that, right? Chalo. Yeah, Yashasvi is a great guy. He is so sorted at that age. And I mean, I don't know. I just look at him like a 20-year-old boy. Yeah, and Peaceful Warrior का last scene देख लेना. Last scene में, where are you? Here. What time is it? Now. And what are you? This moment. So this moment, make every move about the move. Make every reaction about the reaction. That's what you are focusing on tomorrow, right? Chalo, all the best. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being there. And I'll be live regularly with all of you. Thank you. All the best, everybody. Have a good night's sleep. Relax karo, chill karo. और कुछ भी हो, you are, I mean, it does not define. मैंने कैट 1993 में दिया था पहले बार, 92 में फॉर 93 95. अगर मेरा नहीं होता उसमें, अंडर परफॉर्म्ड, it would not have defined my life for the next 20 years. It would have given me a bump in my life for the 6 months. But 20 साल का डेफिनेशन कोई एक एग्जाम तुम्हारा नहीं कर सकता है, राइट? सो जस्ट रिमेंबर दैट. चलो, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर लविंग मी. आई थिंक द हेटर्स हैव एनीवे गॉन अवे. So yeah, you can take it at 26, right? Chalo, thank you so much. I mean, I'm getting a lot of hate nowadays. I don't know. I mean, I sometimes get affected, but फिर मैं सोचता हूँ कि चलो ठीक है, let's be positive about life and मेरे TED Talk से inspired हो. Good to hear that. चलो ठीक है. See you. All the best, everybody. All the best. All the best. Good day. Love you all. Bye. Bye. Chalo, bye. I'll do more of those 1 minute solutions. Bye.